Hi, I'm Dawn and this is where Shabby meets Bling. I have been working tirelessly in my garden to get ready for summer entertaining. I will be using thrifted, sale, and gifted items to become my garden decor. Welcome to another Can't Sleep Creations collaboration. This is Outdoor Living. Tonight we'll be making outdoor decor. I would like to say thanks to my co-host, Monica from Up All Night DIY, and our special guest host, Jody from Jody at Southern Seasons. You're gonna find the links to this playlist and their channels in the description box below. This is going to be my project. This is the back of my garage, and spring is here and summer's on the way, and I have yet to decorate this space. It needs a lot of maintenance, like weeding. Look at all those weeds, and the side of the garage needs to be scrubbed down, and of course it needs decor. Well, I am going to start with this frame and this metal piece that I had added a long time ago. As I mentioned, I'm going to start with the frame, and I want to fill that frame in because I don't want to see the wood boards behind my frame. So I do have a piece of FRP. It's a scrap piece. I use this stuff a lot. It is fabulous. But as you can see, it's a little bit short. So I am going to change up my frame and cut it to size so that I can actually use this FRP. I have cut the one side of my FRP so that it will fit into my frame once I trim those edges off of the two sides of my frame, and now it needs a good scrubbing. Now I will put in the description box below another amazing thing I used this FRP for. I love this stuff. Like I said, it is quite amazing. Very, very paintable. I am going to be using duct tape and hot glue to mend this little hole I've got right here in my FRP. And it doesn't have to be perfect, not at all, because I am going to do a rusting technique over this entire piece. After I have my duct tape on what is the front, really. FRP has a nubby texture on the front, kind of like cottage cheese. But I am painting the back because it's a nice smooth surface. So I'm just filling my hole with hot glue. After my FRP is repaired, I am hitting the entire thing with flat black spray paint. Rust-Oleum. My goal is to make that FRP look like a rusty old sign that has a pattern on it. So I will show you my stencil I'm going to use to create my sticky stencils. I'm using this stencil. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby years ago. It was $13 and I got it for $3 and some change. But you can see how beautiful this pattern is and how great it's gonna look on my FRP sign. Now here is my sticky stencil all in place. I will leave a link to how I make sticky stencils without a Cricut or any other kind of machine in the description box below. But you can see it's already in place, every sticker, and I have given it a coat of my flat black paint to seal it so that I don't have bleeding underneath when I go to the next step. Once my black is dry, I am going to do the first step in one of my rusting techniques, and I'm just using this rust primer. And then I will do one of my rusting techniques, and I'll leave the link in the description box below if you haven't seen it and you want to try it. Since my frame was not quite the right size now, I am prepping it to paint it as well. I am knocking those nails back because I want to use those nails. They have rusted beautifully. They have a nice little patina on them. So I'm knocking my little nails up so I can lay these things flat, and they're gonna get a spray of that rusty metal primer as well, and only that paint. But before we paint, we must give everything a light sanding so our paint will adhere. This is a set of an old plastic set of silverware, at least the spoon and the fork. Now the knife is wood, and I made it to coordinate. I could never find, and I don't think they'll make them, the plastic knives to match the giant fork and spoon. And I had added some wood components to the wood knife to try to mimic the pattern on my spoon and fork. You can see it's delaminating. So at this point, I'm going to clean them all up and I'm going to enhance and try to mend my knife a little bit. So let's clean these things up. Now to get rid of all the extra flaky stuff on my little knife. And once I do that, then I'm going to fall back on one of my old friends, my dimensional paint, and I am going to fill in cracks. I am going to add some of those cute little dots that you see on the fork, and I'm going to try to mimic my pattern a little more in depth than I did last time. So I'm just filling in things here and there, and I'm adding a little more detail. And when it's said and done, I think it turned out pretty good. You shall see. Just you wait. You shall see. I am using a gray Rust-Oleum Automobile Primer to hit my silverware. And the backs will just get a coat of this, and the front I will be treating a little bit different. So I'm just getting a nice coat on the back of all three pieces. So now it's time to paint the front. Actually, they have a coat of that primer, but now I'm comboing the primer and a metallic. And this is going to give me the look of kind of aged stainless steel. It is going to take a little bit of that flat away, and it's going to take a little bit of that metallic away. Combined, you're going to get the look of stainless steel. Now, here's a sneak peek of my stainless steel all done, ready to be hung. This table was purchased at Hobby Lobby many, many years ago on clearance, and I have painted her black. Just black, and now she's really in the process of rusting. I will be giving her a little bit of a makeover because she needs it. This is a bamboo plate tray, decorative piece, and I got it thrifting, and it's been so long since I've had it, don't know what I paid for it, but I am going to give it a little bit of a makeover as well. First, I'm going to give it a sand and get rid of this green paint, which I am so over. I am over it beyond words. So I'll give it a sanding, and then we'll go paint it. We're going to paint it with a charcoal gray. And this is a flat charcoal gray. This gray is just a hair darker than that primer I used. And I will not be adding the metallic to this because I want it to look more like pewter. That's the goal here, pewter. And the next step is going to be painting it with a clear chalkboard paint so that I can write on this little guy. Fun, fun. I turn the plate just a little bit so my spray hits in a different fashion and a different pattern, and then I proceed with coat 2. After this, it's coat 3. I hit it one last time for a total of 4 coats. Yet another thrifted item that I had already painted and added a hook to, and this guy is also gonna get repurposed. Get rid of that red. I do not like it. I've disassembled it. I need to clean it up a little more, and it's going to get some paint. Let's paint it. This lamp is really cool. I am not fond of her little two-tone color, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to take that cord and I'm going to feed it into the lamp at the base. I'll give it a quick cleanup, and I'm going to give it a coat of spray paint. We're going to need some decorative items, so of course I thrifted this beautiful vintage muffin pan for only $2.49 at the Goodwill. This piece, on the other hand, was from a sale. There was a woman that did craft shows, and she was selling everything out and moving away, and she actually gave me that at the end of the sale. More thrifting, you say? We know who we're talking to. This is Dawn Jones. Yes, more thrifting for my garden. This piece was only $3, and it was at my cute little thrifting shop that I love here in town. Now, this piece I picked up at Goodwill.
this big beautiful piece. It is almost 5 feet tall and it only cost me $5.50. So win-win chicken din. And I believe, not absolutely positive, pretty sure it was yellow tag when I bought it. This wire planter has seen better days and it is going to lose the red and get painted and get replanted. I'm actually going to get a lot of the items to plant this right out of my existing gardens.
After a lot of scrubbing, weeding, and painting, I now have 2 spaces ready for outdoor entertaining.
Here's a look at my spoon and knife and the rusty finish that I created on that piece of FRP. I am really happy. You can see that it actually looks like it's rusted in places. And there's a hint of my pattern, ever so subtle. I wanted that panel to look like a placemat of sorts. My wire planter is totally planted from mainly things from my existing garden. And you can see I added that cute little vintage muffin tin in there, as well as a rusty lid. Here's an overall view where you can see every darn thrifted item that I used and repurposed. Now that large trellis, I picked that up when a huge department store was going out of business quite a few years ago. I actually filled the truck a couple times. No kidding. You know me. Doesn't everything look absolutely gorgeous? French country at its finest. A little bit of rust, a little bit of bling. And don't forget, that plate is chalkboard. So I can let everybody know what time dinner is or when beverages will be served. If you did see my rusting videos, you know that this little Galby pail was rusted using a natural technique, while the candlestick next to it is a faux rust finish. Kind of can't tell the difference, can you? A lot of entertaining happens at night, so everything must be lit, even that lamp with a battery-operated candle. Thanks again to Monica and Jody for joining me in another Can't Sleep Creations collaboration, Outdoor Living Edition. You're going to find the links to this playlist and their fabulous channels in my description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Share it with your family, your friends, anybody that likes gardening, thrifting, repurposing, and French country decor. You can follow me on Instagram and check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I would absolutely love to hear from you. The best way to support my channel is to subscribe, so don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications of all my new videos. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.